Rebecca here. It is Why You're Not Living Your Dreams, reason number 4. So we are on Thursday. So I hope you're having a happy, thankful Thursday. Um, Today I want to talk about reason number 4, which is resistance. Now, if we even look at the laws of physics, right, the laws of motion, we start to realize, right, when something is either still or when it starts to move, it actually gains resistance, right? The faster it goes, the more it kind of, even wind or earth plane, it creates resistance. So, what I want to talk to you about today is how resistance can show up in terms of living your dreams. Yesterday, I talked about your belief systems. Welcome, everybody. Talked about your belief systems and how that in your emotional body can create the dissonance. We can be running beliefs that don't support us. Resistance often starts to show up once you've actually made the decision to live your dreams. It's kind of a natural byproduct of stepping in and creating some momentum. So, how do we, and you may have heard this before about the path of least resistance. So, wanting to do that in such a way, and there's a couple of things that I want to point out to you in regards to this in terms of living your dreams. One being, if you have great importance on your end goal, which can often show up as contraction or feeling attached to it, this is how you can create resistance. So, the more important your end goal is, the more you can actually end up creating resistance. And you might be thinking, what? How does that work, right? Because often what happens, right, is we go into a bit of contraction instead of being expanded and going, well, it's okay how this shows up. And this often can be really hard for us, especially with our human ego, because we want it to look a particular way. We need it to know that we've reached our goal or that we've made it, for example. And I guess I actually used this example once in was my Manifesting Secrets ebook, which was, if you're trying to manifest an island, like a tropical paradise island, and say you manifest it, but it's only boat only access, does that pull away from the fact that you've manifested what your intention was? So we really need to be aware of how we are not just in the energy of wanting our ideal outcome, but the process of creating it. And also, how do we create less resistance? We can do this by a lot of things, right? We can create less resistance by staying in gratitude. We can stay in less resistance when we know what to do, when time starts to go by and our expectations start to show up in terms of how things should look. How to navigate that path and know how to move through that process. We can reduce our resistance by being detached. And a lot of people find detachment really hard because it feels like I've chosen something and then you're trying to tell me to let go of it. And that's pretty much it in the nutshell, right? How do you choose your goal, your ideal outcome, and then be in the place of I'm trusting that the universe is going to bring me the wisdom, the information. I'm going to take the action steps towards it. I'm going to show up. I'm going to get the wisdom, the guidance, but I'm going to be detached to the outcome. Now, why would we want to be detached? A, for least resistance, but also two, that the universe can bring you that or something better. Because if we're staying in the energy of like it has to look like this, we are limiting all the multiple other ways that the experience of your ideal creation can come about. And let me give you an example of this. Say you really want to go to Paris, right? And active faith would be going and buying a suitcase, right? Like it's going to happen. I'm putting my intention in there. I've made the decision. I've created that as a goal. You're sending it energy. And then maybe something unfolds in your life and you get sent on a business trip to London, right? You're not going to sit in the energy of, I haven't created what I wanted, or this doesn't look the way that it should. You're probably going to be in the energy of like, oh my goodness, this is amazing because it's such a short trip from London to Paris, so I can take this opportunity. So you really need to open up again your perspective, and you think about it, the wider it is, the less resistance there can be in regards to how your dream shows up. That makes sense. So this is really about tuning into multiple possibilities which can deliver you your end result. And also recognizing, I've talked about this a little bit before, about when we visualize, often what we do is we have a visual of how we believe it should look, especially in regards to a future self. And, when we arrive at that, it doesn't always look the same way. But again, you'll recognize the manifestation by the way that it feels. Because your ideal future self, granted there are parameters, right? You might want to reach an income goal, for example, but your estimated vision of what that looks like might be different from your physical reality. But are you going to turn around and say, oh, universe, I had this goal of making 10 grand this month and I made it, but I'm kind of annoyed because it doesn't look the way I anticipated in my visualization? No, you're going to be in the energy of like, oh my goodness, that's amazing. Thank you so much. I'm so delighted that I'm following through on my intuitive guidance and what else is possible. So really starting to disassemble, I guess in a way you could look at it like asking the universe to color it in for you. Right? So maybe it's like a coloring book where you've got the outline and you're asking the universe to bring the color into the image or the picture to allow it to work with you. And again, recognizing where your ego goes into importance. Right? If this goal's really important and you start noticing that you're going into like, I have to get this, or say it's a goal that you're trying to achieve in a month's time and that you're getting close to it, and the closer that you get to it, the more you're kind of creating importance, which creates resistance. So what you need to do is be aware of that, expand the energy back out, and allow the path of least resistance. And this often comes back to those two key things: needing things to look a particular way and control. Right? So even checking within yourself, maybe where you've experienced a goal or something that you've achieved previously, did you do it from a place of, was it hardcore? Did you have to suffer and struggle to achieve it? Did that make any difference to the outcome in terms of actually receiving it? Versus what does it take to actually go through to get that goal from a place of flow? Right? Letting go of any dissonance, letting go of any limiting beliefs in your energy field that are holding you back from experiencing that in the smoothest way possible. And often people in spiritual terms might call this the art of surrender. Right? Trusting that the universe has got your back, trusting that the universe can see way more than you can, and trusting that if you lean back, especially in those times when you want to move forward, you want to start to try and control the situation, you're starting to create resistance, those are the times when you need to have the awareness to be able to go, I'm holding on too tight, I need to expand out, I need to let go maybe. I need to let the universe step in and colour in this picture for me. I need to let the universe bring in an energy or result that is more expanded than what I am currently experiencing or feeling. So I hope this makes sense, because, it's not just particular to your big dream or turning your dream into a goal, so therefore also you can create it. I don't actually like the word goal. I kind of feel like it feels too final, whereas the process of creation is continuous. So just checking for yourself, though, whenever you have had an experience where you've wanted to create something, how have you been in the process of creation? Did you go into the least resistance? Because I tell you what, folks, the least resistance is the most fun. But what level of faith do you need to have in the outcome, right? It doesn't mean that you're not taking action. It means that you're getting the guidance, you're taking the action, you're detached to the outcome. It's almost like you're enjoying the process as much as the destination, because we can put so much emphasis on the end result. And then we get caught up in that. And then what happens often too, especially with manifestation, I've seen this a million times, people go, okay, I want to manifest that. And then time happens. And then people get really impatient, and then they go into, it's not working. right? Maybe, and this can be in so many different particular ways, right? Maybe the universe is organizing something that is, a million miles away from you that's going to have a knock-on effect in regards to bringing your manifestation to creation. You have to learn to look wider instead of going, I'm impatient, it's not working. When you're doing that, you're coming back into contraction and you're creating more resistance. The more resistance there is, the harder it is to actually have your manifestation or your dream life come into reality. So just checking yourself, is there something in your life right now that you are needing to be a particular way? Are you controlling something? Are you contracted around something in your life? This often shows up for people around money. I need the money, right? What you need is to know that you're an infinite creator being that has a body. Because if you know that you can create money, you can let go of your need to have the money. Because guess what happens with money, right? Money comes in, money comes out. It's a matter of trusting the flow of the energy. So really stepping back into noticing, if I've got resistance in my life, that's actually a place where you want to go and explore. How can I bring less resistance to this place? Another thing that often comes up with resistance is defense mechanisms. Now, what is a defense mechanism? A defense mechanism, like in spiritual terms, we might call it a heart wall or a wall of energy. I literally said it when I was in banking, that I used to feel like I was wearing like armor to go to work to try and keep the energy, I guess, of others out of my energy field. But when that shows up, right, when we are and expanded energies, we don't need defense mechanisms. Like a defense mechanism actually literally holds you back, holds you down, keeps you disconnected from love frequencies. So it might be an inner resistance in order for you to be able to receive your dream. For example, maybe you really want to be, I don't know, like a speaker, but you're afraid of being judged about stepping onto a stage and presenting in front of people. So there might be some defensive energy there that is kind of holding you back from the fear of other people's judgments or being criticized, etc., for what you're doing or saying, right? Your job to be a really good speaker, you want to be very aware of that, and you want to let go of anywhere there's any defense energy, because people feel it on an energetic level. And that energy is going to keep you separated from what it is that you really want, which in that case would be to make an authentic connection with people. And of course, personal public speaking, if you've done it before, folks, is pretty intimidating, right? Because we naturally often do that. We go into the energy of the crowd rather than stay in our own energy. So checking in for yourself, right? Where do you have resistance in your life at the moment? Where is there some kind of contraction? How can you bring more flow to that space? When those defense mechanisms are in place, often they show up, right? If we've been hurt, and then we kind of develop the subconscious defense mechanism to keep ourselves safe from other people's opinions, judgments, energy, right? Our job is to be aware of it. Notice where we're being defensive, right? Where we're kind of pushing people away, where we're not naturally relaxed, open, authentic. And then to start doing the work of letting them go, right? And the best way to do that is to bring more love in, right? Love is one of the best things in terms of releasing or melting resistance within yourself, because to get to your ideal future self as well, you want to be an open, soft, relaxed energy. Why? Because then there's the least resistance. You're in that state of flow. Your own energy field is literally not blocking you from having the experience that you desire. So maybe just check in for yourself and notice if there's any parts of your life that you feel you might be in resistance to. What does it take to send some love energy to that, and really to step into that space of ownership in terms of your big dream and goal? How can you create it in a way that has the least resistance? All right, folks, I'm sending you lots of love and many, many blessings. I'll look forward to connecting with you guys again tomorrow for the last video in this series of Why You're Not Living Your Dreams. Lots of love to you all. See you later. Bye.